Well, they are barely hanging in there. You, my friend, are dominating. So, I was on my fast day 3, and I was, like I said, I like to challenge myself, show guys who's stronger. Guilty. Um, it was like 120 degrees where I was, and these guys walking by, talking to these other guys, they're like, "Hey man, how you doing?" He was like, "Hey man, barely hanging in there." And I was like, "Yeah, me too, and I'm barely hanging in there." And I was like, "Wow, I'm dominating." And like I literally could feel it in my spirit, dude. I wasn't lying. I wasn't like making it up. And honestly, I don't understand that language of being like a fall leaf. Just like, come on, don't fall. You could just keep hanging on.
3, 2,
That's how
1.
people live. But guess what? We're changing that. We're dominating. We're thriving. We're badasses, and we can do shit they can't do while fasting, while in superhuman mode, while living it up on energies. And that's the thing. When I had broken my fast on day 3 after being in extreme insane heat, that's when like this toxic feeling took over my body. Honestly, it didn't feel well after that. I got this headache, kind of fever thing, and I have that a lot. It's like almost like, I don't want to say I feel bad because of food, but it almost feels toxic. Whereas fasting, you feel clear, you feel energetic, you feel happy, you just feel amazing. And I can't wait to get into my next fast. I'm just recovering for a couple days, and we're gonna do more extreme one safely, right? Obviously intuitively. If you're fasting without being highly intuitive, like I think that's dangerous. But everyone does their own thing, have a doctor hold your hand or whatever you need. I don't know many fasters who probably do that, but maybe there's a lot out there who consult the doctor. Hey, this is happening or that's happening. Like, I feel amazing while I fast because, well, I think I do it right. And I listen to my body. I'm very connected, so that's why I recommend people do either my sessions or some kind of intuitive spiritual work beforehand, because it makes you so much more superhuman, channeling energy, having that telepathic, amazing, awesome connection to your soul, your guidance to divine source, God, to what you need, even just positive thoughts. With energy work, we clear out, and people just automatically feel themselves feeling more positive. I was working with someone, and I give them a big slab of, well, they were able to get, it's like we were working together out, and I was like, hey, maybe get this. It was like a big selenite, and they've been put it in your pocket and wear it. And they said the one day they didn't wear it, like all this like negative stuff had happened, and they're like, yeah, it really works. And I was like, yeah, that's why a lot of these are actually selenite. I didn't think I resonated with light colored, or at least at a certain point. I didn't resonate well with like lighter colored crystals or like certain quartz, maybe because there's so much of it around me. I don't know, but the selenite really does resonate with me, so I've been wearing that. But so does the dark shade. Like, I realize I am in a very different consciousness when I'm not wearing them, so it does make a difference. I don't like believe them into doing something for me. That's not at all why I wear them. It's just like a little energy boost, or like Shungite EMF protection, which I've seen. I had to turn my fan on because it's fucking hot. Which I've seen technologically being demonstrated, and I purchased that device, but it didn't work the same way. This guy showed me that, Shungite. Okay, we're doing crystals now. But I got some old device. I just put that on for this video. I wasn't wearing that during the fast. Sometimes it's a little intense. I'm already like really intense. Do I really need to be more intense for people? I'd be like leading a big movement of epic awesomeness. You can do it airy fairy vibes, right? You can do like airy fairy, like, hey guys, let's take off, woo! Which I think is the old-fashioned way of feeling, and now it's like, okay, fuck this, we're not taking that, we're not taking this. Guess who's boss? Guess who's in charge now? And it's the Lightworkers, because we're from that other planet that was well millennia ahead of, say millions and billions of years ahead of this one, and we remember, you're fucking up shit here. So here, here's the instruction manual. This is the first one out of 2000, but here, in these next 100 years, we'll go through this one, and then we'll come bring the next one. I'm just kidding, it's not gonna take that long. We're gonna, we are changing up your DNA. The old way, they beat their kids, and they shove them in these schools where they brainwash them, they do this shit. And our kids, our light-being kids, who are resident with a very high vibration, they are actually teaching you guys. They, let's see, they're very environmentally aware, energetically aware. They start healing at a young age. They are very anti-pollution, trashing the planet, anti all of that. They read minds, they're very telepathic, they're very spiritually advanced, and you know, that means they have a lot of power. We fuck with that stuff, fuck with our kids, because they know how to use that energy to mirror and shield. And anyway, don't want to be fucking with a freaking fireball, you know. Nope. Don't fuck with fireball. Don't fuck with fireball. Don't fuck with sunball. While they complain about what they manifested, we show off what we manifested. Look at the amazing house, look at my amazing kids. Everything in my life is blessed and amazing. Isn't it perfect? I didn't have to spend money on it. I have spiritual wealth. And I'm so confident so I'm just kidding. But seriously, I was just thinking of the other day, I was like, oh, my kid's so perfect. And not snobby. Thank God I don't have a snobby kid. Like, I'm freaking unsnobby. I'm just better than you. Where that came from. I guess because I grew up around like rich snobby people and I was not in that class. But spiritually, I mean, you kind of like have all that accessible. Anyway, we create our children with our beautiful spirit. We pass it on. And I was talking to this mother yesterday about how we got all these messages before we had our kids. And confirmation or something like that's we were spirit was totally lost, like showing us how amazing our kids are going to be, how to raise our kids, be strong. That reminds me of a video I need to be making. Need to be be it now. Be that fucking mom or dad. Just like fuck that. I'm not taking this system bullshit. I'm not taking that system bullshit. Oh, you want to shove that chemical in my kid? I don't think so. Oh, you want my wife to go, or my lady, or me to go in the hospital and do that? To have a kid? It's not natural. Fuck that. Oh, family member. You want me to raise my kid like that? I don't think so. You know what? Maybe you need to stay over there for a month or two. Maybe a year or two. That's disrespectful. I'm not taking someone telling me how to raise my kids, etc., right? We stand up for our high spiritual energy, how we live our lives, because we're not here to contaminate our kids with that fucked up system. And I need to be telling people this because apparently I've heard from people that, oh, they gave in to those toxic family members or partner, or get rid of whatever partner. If you have a partner really trying to mess with you and your kid or kids and toxify them. Of course, in the US, we have a fucked up system where sometimes, I don't know, I just know other people and the system's really fucked up where the toxic parents like has 50-50. I'm like, what? But, you know, spirit shouldn't be allowing that unless, like, if you are the higher one spiritually, you should have the authority. Because, you know, I saw so much judgment come to people that were like trying to fuck with my sacred connection and my sacred child and all of that, and they got wiped out. So maybe that person still has some things to learn spiritually, which I think they did. They literally said something about like, what if I'm supposed to be leaders? like was offended by maybe one of my posts. I think it was like, and women aren't. I was like, what? Like we are the true spiritual leaders. And of course, I believe in like 50-50 balance, like the divine feminine and the divine masculine. We're all in our peak selves. We just have all of these wonderful abilities. But to say that women aren't leaders, like all I've felt throughout my whole life is this energy of like we should be doing it way better. And if I'm not supposed to speak up about that, that's not fucked up, right? There's way too much I have to say. Women aren't, it's like women want to. Oh, it's just so creepy. I'm seeing a feather now flying in the air, my insides. Confirmation, like people who aren't like getting spiritual downloads, that person I don't think necessarily has live communication. It's like if you watch lives, what's more important than that? Spiritual lives, not reading it in a book thousands of years ago. Okay, that can be helpful if you're like live getting a download. Like, okay, read this verse or read this page or read, But I'm just, God, when I see people who are like so out of connection, out of touch with live communication and live spirit, and then the whole male dominating system, they're like, oh no, they found, I just made a post. I got to take it away because I'm like, damn, I'm too intense. But the Mary Magdalene verses they're finding and they try to suppress and hide and for thousands of years. And it's like she was over all the disciples and what that said. It's like, hello. Of course she was. I mean, I know me in my pure element. This is where you get. You're going to get that constantly if I'm able to. For now, I am enjoying my energy. And that's the thing, lots of people want to be around me. And I'm very specific about who's around me. You got to book with me. Even like family, friends, and like, nah, you don't quite match my qualifications. I know that sounds bad, but I mean spiritually. I'm not talking about anything else. Like, no disrespect. Just come at me in your best energy because I'm presenting my best energy to you. And a lot of people just aren't leveled up. They're very much leveled down into their lowest selves. Presenting to the world my lowest self. Hey, I'm gonna come over, even though I'm in my step 3 of 10,000 level. I'm gonna challenge you today to be at least in level 10 because that's how I've exhibited myself to you. That we can manifest, and provide space, luckily, for those people to be in that higher energy. And we provide it with our peace, with our love within ourselves. I'm not saying to send it out. Receiving, giving. There I go. I'm in awesomeness. You just naturally see things shifting and find you put your foot down, get rest. Other ways you get to cut out, teach people lessons. Like, oh shit, I met that person in the wrong energy and they cut me off indefinitely. Yeah. That's how it works. With people who love our lives, who have high level lives. So what are we doing now? We're dominating. Fucking keep it hot. Okay? Alright.